Alright, what's going on, guys? So, this week we are starting a cheap four-wheel drive build. So, me and the partner picked this up good few months ago, and it's sat in the back of my yard for quite some time now. It's a 1980s Suzuki SJ, little Suzuki Jimny basically, solid front axle, rear axle. It's been converted into an off-roader at some stage. We've got a snorkel with a pod filter in here, twin what do you call these bloody thing? Fiddles. Handbrake for each side, so you can sort of pull one and it skid steers. They're pretty fucking seized though, to be fair. Well, only one is. Got an arrangement of gauges all through here, switches. Yeah, it's actually pretty sick. So it's actually got quite a cool interior. The roll bar that's been installed on it, so that's quite cool. It's got 4-point harnesses on it as well, and 31-inch muds with pretty good tread. And a decent little bull bar on there with mounting for a winch and spotlights. Under the hood, it is not Suzuki, Nissan. So we've got a little 1200 Datsun motor in there with the 1200 Datsun gearbox running to the Suzuki transfer case. Got some wooden doors made out of plywood with a gate latch on the inside. So that's pretty sick. So this thing needs a little bit of work. It's got a bit of rust. Being an off-roader though, we're not really going to worry about the rust, are we? What I'm going to worry about though is that all the bushings in the leaf springs, front and rear, have literally like disappeared. They're fucked. They were brittle. I took it for one little drive for like 5 minutes and it just chewed the bushes out and they fell straight out. So I've got an arrangement of second-hand bushes that are probably fucked too. So I'll put those in and see how long they last. And like I said, the rust. There's also recovery points on this truck, bash plate under the fuel tank, and a fuel tank holder for like a 20-litre ex-army jerry can or something. So it was actually a pretty cool little truck. Few issues, like I said, but shouldn't take fuck all to get this bad boy down the river and pumping. So first thing I'm going to do is jack it up and put some wheels underneath it or something, some sort of axle stands, because as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, yeah, sort of can. That bolt in the middle of that spring should be in the middle of that spring, not down the bottom. So the bush inside there is completely gone, and it's the same story on all four corners. So we need to jack it up, pull the leaf springs out, replace those bushes, and then, yeah, there's a few more things after that, such as the little electric fan in here. That has stopped working. And the fan on the back has no shroud, therefore making that one very much useless. So we'll jack it up now and get these springs out. Okay, so I've just jacked up one side and undone your sway bar linkage. What do you call these bloody things? I know there's a fucking name. Alright, so I've jacked up one side, just taken the weight off. I've undone I've undone the leaf spring hanger, popped it out of there, and as you can see, if the camera wants to stop being a fuckwit and focus, it's chewed out. It's completely fucked. Same with the top one, completely fucked as well. So there's still bits of it left on here, as you can see, chunks all over the ground. So I'll clean that up. I'll pop these ones out, and I've got a couple of leaf springs over there also, sitting with some bushes that should be the right size for this project. Fuck, this camera's terrible at focusing, eh? It's almost as bad as Haggard North now. Alright, we got the old bushings out, and as you can see, they just crumbled and fell apart. Got new bushings in there, well, new old bushings anyway, so they might just fall apart later on as well. But we've got the upper and the lowers in there. Also just cleaned up this a little bit and put some grease on there, just so it's going to be nicer on the bushes, rather than like rusty, corroded shit inside the bushes, just chewing them out. The grease, I don't know, it might react with the rubber and actually perish it faster, but fuck it, you know, it's already rusty as fuck, so she'll be mint. So I'll slam this hanger back on, and then I've probably got to go and I'll have a look at the front one up there. Hopefully that one's alright, otherwise we'll start on that. 1 hour has been, and as you can see, there is just bits of bush all over the ground. So I've done the two rears, and this one front rear was also buggered. As you can see, there is the bush that came out. The front springs seem pretty good. Well, they're still together, so I'm not going to worry about those ones at the moment. And yeah, so that was an easy job. It's only taken me about an hour, and sweet as. So now I might fire a battery in it, fire it up, and see what's good. No good. No good. Alright, well, as you can tell, the battery that I have is a bit flat. So I'll take that out, throw that on charge. While that's charging, I'm going to jack up the front, because if you can see this on camera, you fucking can. That wheel is like on an angle that way. So I'll jack it up, take the wheel off. Well, I'll jack it up and I'll give the wheel a wiggle first and see where the problem is. But I'm thinking the wheel bearing's either flogged or hopefully it's just loose. So that's just a matter of taking the wheel off, pulling our manual locking hub off, and the wheel bearing should be fairly close somewhere in behind there, and then we can just either tighten it or swear because it's buggered. So we'll have a look at that now while the battery charges. Alright, well, we've got our manual hub off. It's down there. And as you can see, there's the outer nut, which is the locking nut, and then there's an inner nut behind that, exactly identical, that holds the whole hub assembly and wheel bearing in place. As you can see, it's fairly rusty and looks fucking mank as shit. So I'm not going to pull it out because I don't want to even touch any of that shit. All I'm going to do is just bend back these little locking tabs in there. There's one there, there, and one down there. Bend those back, undo this one, tighten the inside, do this one back up, bend the locking tabs back on, and we'll throw the manual locking hub back on, wheel back on, and hopefully it doesn't sit on the piss. So we'll do that now and see how it looks. Well, that's it all back together. So we pulled the manual hub off, pulled it all apart, tightened the wheel bearing. I did actually pull the wheel bearing out and had a look at it. The wheel bearing actually looks quite good. Like, it doesn't look like it's all no, you know when they're fucked and when they're not. So it doesn't look half bad. Put it back together, jack it down, and it's still on a fucking angle. So, and when you jack it up and actually wiggle the wheel top to bottom, there's not actually that much movement. So fuck, I don't know, something bent in there, I'm really not sure. I did notice while I was in there that the steering arm, it's a bit dark under there, but can you see that bar going brrrp? So that's bent as fuck. That should probably be straight. That bar right there should be as straight as the one in front of it, but it's not. So whether that's causing half of the problem, I'm not sure, but we'll throw that battery back in now and see if it's got enough charge to fire this piece of shit. Alright, well I fired up. As you can see in here, it's not running on all four, and I'm not sure why. I did have a little play with the leads like last week. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I haven't got a GoPro to stick on my head, but I'll move my van and back it out and maybe just drive it around for a little bit, just around here, and see what she does. See if those bushes fall apart that I've just put in there, because that'd suck. Alright, forgive the cameraing because I'm trying to hold a pretty decently sized camera here. These doors are fairly average, I'm not going to lie. The brakes work, which is good. backfiring through the intake there, through the snorkel. Alright, well, it is running like poos, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is probably quickly pull out the fuel filter and see if that might be blocked up a bit. As you can see, our new bushes are in there. They haven't started falling apart yet, which is good. So let's pull out that fuel filter, I guess. Well, I don't think it'll be a fuel filter problem because it doesn't feel like it's running out of fuel. It just feels like it's got a average ignition system. Fuck knows why. Might not even have a fuel filter, who knows? That sounds like it's running on 4 cylinders now. Do I take it for another drive? Yep. There is water in the roll bar, rusty as fuck, and it's falling all over me. It's really fucking me off. But if you listen to this, that's just sorted its shit out. That's running on all 4 hard. Almost want to take the scene to the river now. Oh yeah. She's running like a gem. Alright, well it seems to be running pretty well. It's not idling the best, but fuck, who needs idle anyway. It seems to be running on all 4 sweet as. It is sitting a little bit that way. That leaf spring there is obviously sagged a bit over the years. But who's really concerned about that? I'm not. So I was actually just about to take it to the river, and then I went to start it up, and the battery had gone flat while I was driving it before. So something's up with the charging system in this thing. And I'm not sure what's up with the charging system because there is this here, so that says 13.3 volts right now, and if I flick it off, yeah, I was going to say it should drop back to about 12.8 or something. So I feel like the alternator is working. 12.8, rev it up, 13, 13.2. So I feel like the alternator is working. I'm not sure why it didn't want to start before, off camera, but I have a little bit of a play around with it, and it's probably a bit risky going to the river by myself because I could get stuck there and end up having to walk for miles with no cell phone because I've got no credit. So it's best left till next weekend. So during the week I'm going to do a few more things. It needs an electric fan. That electric fan in there is not working properly, and there's no shroud for the manual fan, the viscous fan, rendering it useless because without a shroud it's basically just stirring hot air under the bonnet. So we'll wait till next weekend when the missus is here, and we'll tow it with the A-frame with her Pajero maybe or something, so then we've at least got 2 4-wheel drives there, and I'm not going to get stuck down there by myself looking like a muppet. So if you're still here for the first time, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button. And if you're a subby and you're watching this and you feel like giving it a like, go on. And hopefully by next weekend we've got the fan on it, the missus is here, and we'll be able to take it to the river and we'll just beat the fuck out of the thing. So I hope we won't break it, but you know, what's the point in going to the river if you're not going to thrash the shit out of it?